Dieselgate. Billions of dollars in penalties, damaged reputation, deleted emails, and an indicted former CEO. The Volkswagen emission scandal was nothing short of a Hollywood original. For nearly a decade, from 2006 to September 2015, Volkswagen anchored its U.S. sales strategy aimed at vaulting the company past Toyota to become the world's #1 car maker on a breed of cars that turned out to be a complete hoax. Volkswagen promotional materials repeatedly claimed that its clean diesel vehicles have low emissions, including that they reduce nitrogen oxides emissions by 90% and have fewer such emissions than gasoline cars. It was all a software-conjured deceit. When the scandal was disclosed, Volkswagen stocks dropped by 38% by September 22nd. They lost $25 billion in government penalties, PR, and liabilities to customers in the US. Undoubtedly, the scandal drew attacks on the German auto industry. In glaring headlines criticized that it was time for German industry to abandon arrogance and complacency. In fact, it was not only about Volkswagen. For Germans, it was national embarrassment. Top advisors to Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier had even written a confidential letter to German diplomats around the world, providing guidelines for how they should go about defending the German brand. The emission scandal should be represented as a singular occurrence, they wrote. External communication should focus to the extent possible on preventing Volkswagen and the Made in Germany brand from being connected. Investigation later revealed that Volkswagen engineers were not alone in the conspiracy. Prosecutors in the US and Germany identified more than 40 people involved, including former CEO Martin Winterkorn, as well as automotive technology supplier Robert Bosch. In fact, it was later found that the EU Commission and the German government were main alibis to this entire crime. The EU bureaucracy was one of the first to be informed through its research organizations about the high nitric oxide emissions of the Volkswagen vehicle fleet as early as 2007. However, they remained complicit due to pressure from German government. Over 2 years since Volkswagen's emission scandal, there has been no penalties, let alone criminal prosecutions, in Germany. The government's complicity with Dieselgate inevitably raises doubts on Germany's commitment to the Energiewende. The Energiewende, literally meaning energy turnaround or energy revolution, is Germany's effort to reduce climate-damaging CO2 emissions without relying on nuclear energy. Legislative support for the bill was passed in late 2010. Although the bill's objective was to reduce CO2 emissions, post-Fukushima focus shifted entirely towards reducing nuclear energy production. CO2 reduction became rather secondary, and the Dieselgate strongly reinforces this hypothesis. Germany's complicity with Dieselgate clearly reflects Germany's greater interest in promoting German imperialism in the global auto industry more than its commitment to the environment and to its so-called environmental revolution. One could even argue Energiewende is but PR strategy equivalent to Volkswagen's fictional clean diesel.